You know what I think is so amazing about what you said is just how there is the mentality of those that tried to hold you back to stay within the toxicity of the hood, or you know what I mean. Oh, you're not real because you escaping it. Now you're not in that environment anymore. But why would you want to stay in that environment of, unsafeness, of toxicity, if you don't have to, right? And there's the people that kind of romanticize that idea of this is somewhat of a badge of honor to carry, to go through the strife and everything.
And so right, and that's a great point. So where I go, right, we say credible messenger life experience. So I got a 26, right, across, just for grow up, right? We got to go across the country. But the point I want to make, 12, right? I got 12 staff in a jail, right? 8 of them have been incarcerated and the kids talk to them. I got 4 staff, 2 of them women and 2 dudes that never tasted jail in their life, never been in there. They go into jail and they work like the rest of the brothers in my team that been in jail. I'm going to make a point here. Oh, Angel is a nerd, right? She's a nerd. They never taste this. And when they walk to prison because they're persistent, they do the same thing that the guys who had life experience, they love, they're patient, they teach. The kids in the jail respect Angel, who never been in jail, and listen to his counsel as much as they did the dude that did the 20 years. Why? Because the kids see the one trait that they both demonstrated. It wasn't their past. It was what they did now that they do together. They loved him. They listened to him. They resolved situations for him. So then he respected him and he took their counsel now. So my point is that badge of honor that you've been in jail, we could use it if we had to take it and our trauma took us there. But shit, the real dude that should be badge of honor is my sisters and brothers who never been to jail, made it and are successful, and didn't have to believe that they had to fail to succeed in that manner. So this is what I teach, right? If 90% of us fathers and mothers who did time and call our children from jail would not talk like that shit, like you run into jail. When you go to these jails and you getting that mark in your education and you listening to rules because you become a citizen in jail, because the real dogs that pop off in jail don't use the phone. The real dogs that ain't listening don't see TV. The real dogs turning it up stay 3 to 5 years or 30 years like Luis Felipe and ADX and never get the compound. The point I'm trying to make, that if I'm using the phone and I'm calling outside young men and women, that means your father, your uncle, your cousin is behaving. He's behaving when he calls you on the phone. That means he's following rules. He's a thug. He's acting strong. He wants you to believe he's all right, but inside he's broken. He wishes to be home and he wants you. So, what I teach is, if we fathers who went in jail tell our kids how we used to stuff green peppers and onions in our underwears, how we stuffed drugs up our rectum, how we put food in our socks and fish, how we sneak around in the night and beg for shit, our son wouldn't wear as a badge of honor to be a slave like we were in jail. They will fear it. They would hate it. But we come out with this fake glamorized like we ran to jail. We held it down. The only niggas that ran jail were the Attica brothers. And they all got shot, killed, and the National Guard took over that jail. That's what happens when you run a jail. Anything else, you are a content inmate. Faking to the outside how hard you are. So Rikers Island right now is a savage place because the citizens of New York and the people that ran it used fear so long that there's not even fear they could use to stop them from becoming the unhuman anger that's in that building. It needs people like me to go in there with love and redirect it. So stop the bullshit. When we're in jail, we're suffering. Gangsters cry at night, and we wishing we had our fucking girlfriend, not you in the dance floor. And we're broken, kids. Stop believing that we in jail tough and running shit. That's all an act. We're trying to survive in there. We're scared and we're hopeless. Let's tell the truth over the phone so our community will help us and our kids won't want to join us. It's our job to join them, not to bring them into us, into our lives and our fears of how we run a jail. I'm not saying this because I'm free. I'm saying this because I was in there. And I would call my family and say, I'm getting out. I ain't staying here. I hate it now. This is the worst shit I did again. I'm changing. I'm working on myself. And I make promises. And brothers protected the promises because they seen I was sincere. They had life. I had 13 years. I didn't want to die in jail. I had so much to do, so much to make up. And they bought into my hope and my dream. And because they didn't come home, they stood on the fence. And today I live for them. I send Luis Felipe money. I let them see the videos on YouTube to see the success of them doing for me what they couldn't do for themselves. They got me home. I owe a lot to a lot of men and women. So that's why I do what I do. For my children, everything fine. But for those people who sacrificed to get me home when I had 13 years and they had life, and they put me first. So now I'm putting them first by staying free and getting the message out that we need to remember them and that they're not running jails and that they're not all right and that they're being tortured and they're being forgotten. Some of them did mistakes, but they have repented and they need us to bring them home. And so I'm sincere with that. And that's my dream, that the good guys come home and that we find them and we bring them back home to us. And that's what I do today is never forget. I go to jail 7 days a week, brother. I did my life in jail. I'm there 7 days a week visiting jail, seeing kids, different states, different. I dedicated my life to going back where I'm hurt the most, where I was scared the most. And every day I come home and say, why do I do this? Why would you spend your free life in jail visiting? Because that's why you were given freedom. God gave you this mission and you make it. And I live with it and I do good with it and I'm all right with it and I stay free with it. And I hope each of you find that keeps you free, keeps you with hope, and keeps you changing. Because that's the people who make it in life. It's those that are willing to change and move forward, not those that pout and cry about yesterday and why they can't make tomorrow better. That's not the people I hang with. I don't care if you're king, blood, crip. If your message is positive, you're moving forward, we hang together. That's what makes you my brother. If you're a slob, crying, worrying about what in the past did to you so you can't make a better tomorrow, I'll leave you with your pacifier and I'll leave you in your crib. I ain't got time for you, sucker. Just suck on that. I got a mission to do and I'm going to move forward. I don't fight about the people who hurt me in the past. I forgive them. I don't hang with them if I think they hurt me again and I move forward. I don't talk about them. I don't down them. I don't give attention to hurt and hate and remorse. It breeds it breeds the wrong kind of fruit in the community. It breeds gossip, conversation, and debate. But if you bring solitude, forgiveness, and closure, you let green grass grow. You grow fruit with sweetness and love and compassion. And you see the community forgive itself because its leaders are not talking trash and past. They're talking future and hope. And that's what I hope we do for one another is encourage each other on these sites and not look about the past, who I cut, who I fought, who did me wrong and how I was such a big gangster in the island and this blood did this in my past and King Tone. Who the fuck cares if King Tone cut somebody in Rockers Island in 1986? The fuck that means today on YouTube? That's what I need so somebody could respect me and love me today? Tell them about the shit I did in Rockers Island? What kind of fucking loser I gotta be? Talking about what I did wrong when I was a kid to make me feel strong as a man on a fucking YouTube channel. Fuck that. I use it for positive message, not to show the king tone of the past, but the one that's here today. If I share a story, I always use myself as the example as the failure, not the individual. So he could see that my message comes from my failure, recognizing that he's practicing the same thing that'll bring it. Now it's your choice to take that advice or not out of judgment, out of care and concern. You're my fellow human being. I don't want you to duplicate what I went through if it's gonna hurt you. And if we all did that, we'd be better, man. And I know the niggas think, oh, Tony's on some, come meet me and my crew. If you see the credible messengers on the block, they look as tough as any gang in a motherfucking country. But then they're all smiling, So you say, what the fuck happened here? These dudes all look tough, but they're all smiling. You know why? We're all free, and we're not here to fight you or take your territory. We're here to free you from your territory and give you back to yourself. And that's all I want to do today is free you from your territory and your block and that image that a jail dude is a tough dude. He's a broken dude that needs help. And once we say that truth, instead of people fearing us, they'll start helping us. So drop the hard rock act and start becoming human, sucker. And you'll get all the love King Tone get love now, everywhere he goes, because he comes with a message of hope. Not a message of dope, a message of greed. He just comes with a message of hope and decision making, and we move on. And I respect men like that. Right or wrong, I respect the man that's willing to try and get up. And I think that's all we owe one another, right? Is that respect to get one another up.
That's beautiful, man. I love that, the not glamorizing everything that happened in the past, like you said.